Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. I&R spoilers Tuesday, July 9. Pushing buttons, power roll, guilt trip, Young and the Restless. I&R spoilers for Tuesday, July 9 indicate some bombshells are about to be dropped in the land of Genoa City. Coming up on Young and the Restless, one character pushes a rival's buttons, while another is relishing their new role, and someone sends their ex on a guilt trip. Read on below to find out about what will unfold during Tuesday's show. The mustache pushes buttons. I&R spoilers for Tuesday, July 9 note that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, will push Jack Abbott's, Peter Bergman buttons. With the mustache on the cusp of revealing Glissade's new co-CEOs via a press conference, will he add salt to Jack's wound by rubbing it in that his son, Kyle Abbott, Michael Miller, is working for his nemesis? Victor knows how to get to Jackie, which is why this rivalry is so timeless. How will Jack react? Audra Charles is on cloud 9. Speaking of Glissade, Y&R spoilers for Tuesday, July 9 hint that Audra Charles, Zulika Silver, will be riding a high wave as she relishes her new power role. If Glissade's press conference does unravel during Tuesday's show, Audra will be more than pleased that the news is finally out. She worked hard to snag the company out from under Tucker McCall, Trevor Streetjohn, and Audra will be ready to bask in the glow of success. Is she counting her chickens before they are hatched? She has a lot of work to do in Glissade's offices, and collaborating with Kyle might not be as easy as she thinks. The Young and the Restless spoilers, get your suitcases packed for a guilt trip. Across town, I&R spoilers for Tuesday imply that Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, will send Adam Newman, Mark Grossman on a guilt trip. The two crossed a massive line in Baltimore when they hit the sheets, and now Chadam has to deal with the aftermath of it all. Looks like both Adam and Chelsea will struggle in the days and weeks ahead, especially during their interactions with Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope. But will they continue to lie to their significant others, or will one of them come clean? Which storyline are you most interested in seeing on Tuesday? Join the conversation below. Catch Y&R on the CBS Daily so you don't miss a moment in Salem, and visit SOS often for the best Young and the Restless news, updates and spoilers. For more about what's happening on your favorite soaps and more ways to connect with us, join the conversation on our Facebook page. Check out our Twitter feed. Look for an update on our Instagram, follow us on Threads, always stay up to date with us on Google News, or drop us an email @HERE. See you there. The sun barely peeked over the horizon, casting a soft glow over Genoa City. The morning air was crisp, yet charged with a tension that promised a day of confrontations, revelations, and power plays. #### pushing buttons. Inside the Newman Enterprises building, the atmosphere was no different. Victoria Newman sat at her desk, her fingers tapping rhythmically against the mahogany surface. She was deep in thought, strategizing her next move. The recent upheavals within the company had left her with more enemies than allies, and she knew she had to be one step ahead at all times. Her office door swung open, and Nick Newman walked in, his expression a mix of determination and concern. "Morning, Victoria," he greeted, closing the door behind him. "Nick," she replied curtly, not looking up from her paperwork. Nick sighed, taking a seat opposite her. "We need to talk about Dad. His recent decisions are putting the company at risk." Victoria finally looked up, her eyes sharp. "What do you suggest? He's not exactly known for listening to reason. We need to push his buttons, make him see that his actions are affecting the family and the business," Nick suggested, leaning forward. "I know it's risky, but we can't sit back and let him destroy everything." Victoria nodded slowly, considering his words. "You're right. But we have to be careful. One wrong move, and we could all end up out in the cold." As they devised their plan, the tension in the room grew thicker, each sibling knowing the stakes were higher than ever. ### power roll. Meanwhile, across town at Jabot Cosmetics, Phyllis Summers was embracing her newfound power. As the interim CEO, she relished every moment of control, using her position to settle old scores and assert her dominance. Billy Abbott walked into her office, his expression unreadable. "Phyllis," he greeted, his tone flat. "Billy," she responded with a smirk, leaning back in her chair. "What brings you here?" "Come to congratulate me on my success." Billy's eyes narrowed. "I came to remind you that this is temporary. Jack will be back, and when he is, you'll be back to square one." Phyllis laughed, the sound echoing through the room. "Oh, Billy, always the optimist. But let me tell you something. This power role suits me, and I intend to make the most of it." Billy clenched his jaw, resisting the urge to retort. He knew Phyllis was a formidable adversary, and he couldn't afford to lose his cool. "Just remember, Phyllis, power is fleeting. Enjoy it while you can." As he left, Phyllis's smile faded, replaced by a steely resolve. She knew Billy was right, but she was determined to make her mark, no matter the cost. ###guilt trip. At the Chancellor Estate, Abby Newman Abbott sat with her mother, Ashley Abbott. The two women shared a quiet moment, sipping coffee and enjoying the peaceful morning. "Mom, I need to talk to you about something," Abby began, her voice tinged with hesitation. Ashley looked up, concern etching her features. "What is it, sweetheart?" Abby took a deep breath, the guilt weighing heavily on her. "I've been having doubts about my engagement to Chance. I love him, but I can't shake the feeling that something's missing." Ashley reached out, taking her daughter's hand. "Abby, it's natural to have doubts, but you need to be honest with yourself and with Chance. Marriage is a big commitment, and you shouldn't go into it with reservations." Abby nodded, tears welling in her eyes. "I know, Mom, but I'm scared of hurting him, of letting everyone down." Ashley squeezed her hand reassuringly. "You're not letting anyone down by being true to yourself. If you're not ready, it's better to face it now than to regret it later." As they embraced, Abby felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She knew she had a difficult conversation ahead, but with her mother's support, she felt more prepared to face it. ###unforeseen consequences. Back at Newman Enterprises, Victoria and Nick's plan was set in motion. They had managed to push Victor's buttons, provoking a reaction that sent ripples through the company. Victor stormed into Victoria's office, his face a mask of controlled fury. "What is the meaning of this, Victoria? Undermining my decisions, going behind my back. Do you have any idea what you've done?" Victoria stood her ground, her expression calm. "I did what I had to, Dad. Your decisions were putting everything we've built at risk. We can't afford to make any more mistakes." Victor's eyes blazed with anger. "You think you can do better? You have no idea what it takes to run this company." Nick stepped forward, his voice steady. "We're not saying we know better, Dad. We're saying we need to work together as a family. Your way isn't working anymore." Victor glared at his children, the weight of their words sinking in. "You'd better be right about this," he warned, his voice low, "because if this fails, it's on your heads."